Thanks for staying with us. It's Mental Health Awareness Month, and if you've noticed, since the beginning of this month, we've had quite a few mental health advocates come on to sort of create more awareness on, the need to pay attention to our mental health. And today we have Ayodele Fasuyi. She is the co-founder of Amani Health. And today she's here to just basically touch on the signs of depression and how to manage it. Good morning. How are you doing?
Good morning. I'm doing great.
I love your smile. It's so cheerful. Well,
Thank you.
Thanks for having me
Thank you.
here.
Thank you. Thank you for having me.
Let's dig right into what depression is. And I mean, we cannot overemphasize these conversations around anxiety, depression, mental health. So kindly, for the benefit of those, who do not know what it is, just let us know what is depression?
Depression. Okay, yes. Thank you very much for that question. Depression is a word that is, used very often, but most people, like you said, most people do not really know what depression is. So depression is a state of prolonged, consistent, deep sadness that has gone on for at least 2 weeks. So if a person is feeling persistently sad with no real reason, or no, you can't say this is why I am sad, and it has gone on for more than 2 weeks, then we can say, okay, this person is tilting on the verge of depression. And it's different from normal feeling of sadness. There's normal feeling of sadness, something happens or something didn't go your way and you're feeling sad. That is not depression. But some people will say, I'm feeling depressed. It may not actually be depression. It may just be you're feeling sad. And for lack of emotional language, sadness could also be, okay, you're feeling disappointed, you're feeling embarrassed, you're feeling abandoned. But because most of us do not know our emotional language, we use just the primary language is sad, angry, happy. Yeah. But depression is when, prolonged deep sadness, like you can't find anything to be happy about. Morning, afternoon, night, you are constantly in that state.
Being that we're in that month of, mental health awareness, what can we do as people who are not in that state of depression? I mean, in terms of looking out for people who are depressed. What are the signs we should look out for? Because we've seen cases where people are, generally masking, in happiness, and the next thing you hear stories of them committing suicide, and you're wondering, you can't, correlate both situations or both instances. So how can we look out for these things? What are the things to look out for? And what do we do? How can we help these people, who are going through?
Thank you very much. Yes, there are some subtle signs of depression. And one of the obvious reasons or obvious signs is prolonged sadness that has gone on for more than 2 weeks. And then there's this feeling of constant tiredness. You just don't know why you are tired, but you are consistently or tired every day. Low energy. This could also be a sign, like you don't have the energy to do, anything. You just want to be in bed morning till night. That could also be a sign. Hopelessness, this feeling of hopelessness, like the person does not even want to do anything, like you don't have any, like there's nothing you're looking forward to, like why am I here? That sense of worthlessness, that could also be a sign. Yes, and hopelessness is like you said, suicide. You see somebody happy today, and the next day the person has committed suicide. It's as a result of that feeling of hopelessness. Okay, what am I here for? Why am I even here?
So how can we manage it? What can we do to help them?
Okay, so the first thing is to see a therapist. Or I would say self-care is very important in managing depression or in preventing depression. But somebody who has these signs, an individual may not know exactly, because
What
depression could be caused by different could be caused by childhood trauma, adverse childhood experiences, stressful life events. So an individual, a family member, they want good for the person, but they may not actually know how.
Yeah.
So it's usually suggested or recommended that you see a professional who would then be able to assess the situation. Okay, so you are feeling this way, this is going on. Why? Because you need to know the why before you can know that how to treat it. Because there's some depression even require medication.
Oh.
Yeah, some depression require medication. So
Depends on
it
the
depends on the level. There's mild, there's chronic. So it depends on the level of depression. Yeah, so it's for you to be able to help somebody going through and just be there for the person. You just, you know, be a friend, be there for them, yeah, and point them in the right direction, which is seeking professional help. There's a lot of stigma going around, you know. People don't want to come out to seek help.
Exactly.
People don't want to feel less of themselves. Like, okay, if I come out and say I'm struggling, then the world is going to say I'm not strong enough. It's not a measure of being strong or not.
I am going to, I'd like to touch a little bit. It's a very sensitive angle I'm about to raise here, but
Okay.
I'd just like to hear your opinion on it.
Okay.
The role of religion in mental health. What are your thoughts?
The role of religion in mental health. So some people use religion as a source of succor, yeah, as a source of managing their mental health, as a source of inspiration. When you have that feeling of, okay, there's hope for me, then you may not go down that route or that road, go down that road of depression, anxiety, or other mental health illnesses. But some have some have overused, or will I say overused now, but the religion has a role to play. I would say religion has a role to play. I'm a person of faith, I'm a Christian, so I know what God says about me, and yes, it has a role to play in my mental health. But I also know when to get professional help. And that is one thing that most or some of our religious bodies are not talking about.
Yeah.
So it is not everything that can be handled within the four walls of a church.
Of a religious center.
Yes, of a religious center, yeah, whether a church, mosque, or anything, yeah. I tell you a quick story. So,
unfortunately, we have to
okay,
wrap up now.
Fine,
but I guess we hear that story some other time. But
That's
thank you so much.
Thank you.
Most importantly, for touching on, you know, this issue that you know keeps popping up, especially when it comes to conversations around mental health. And I think depression is one of the easiest. Like it just you know comes up, and then you don't know how to handle it. But thank you so much. We'll continue the conversation
Thank you
to commemorate the World Mental Health Awareness Month.